I can't believe I actually did this and was shocked by what I discovered. This was my great-grandmother's house. It was sold to the family up the street after my grandmother's passing. My family had originally settled on this land in the 1800s. So when our family sold this land, I was very upset and have been determined to someday buy it back. There is an old cemetery in the back of the land where my relatives are buried, but only my sister and I know where it is. My plan was to knock on the door and talk to whoever was residing there. However, I was surprised to find it completely overgrown and riddled with snake holes when I arrived. Upon discovering what I assumed to be ticks and chiggers in the grass, I decided to drive up to the property instead of continuing to walk up to it. I started to get scared when I saw this car with its windows broken out, which had obviously been sitting there for years. I proceeded to walk up to the home, not knowing if somebody would come out with a shotgun because I was actually trespassing. But when I got closer, I noticed something unusual. The house appeared to have been abandoned. To my surprise, the front door was ajar. In other words, it was open. Spiderwebs were all over the screen door, and I'm deathly afraid of spiders. A million thoughts were racing through my head. My heart was pounding, a lump had begun to form in my throat, and the urge to flee kicked in. I had to see inside. I knocked on the door and kept saying hello. The door swung open as I knocked on it. Hello? Wait a minute, what was that knocking? Thank goodness I didn't hear that when I was there. As I looked around, I noticed something that I was not prepared for. There was rat feces everywhere. No one's lived here in a long time. Hello? Anyone here? Remember, this is not my grandmother's house anymore, and I'm now inside the house. Looking around, I noticed spiderwebs dangling in the corners. Everything is covered in dust. The ceiling is collapsing, the wallpaper is peeling off the walls, and there are rat footprints and rat droppings everywhere. With my shirt covering my nose and mouth, I walk further in and feel the floor beneath me give. By this point, I'm questioning what I was even doing there. In my head, I'm freaking out, but curiosity got the best of me and I went deeper inside. I couldn't help but to think about how many rats it would take to produce that much rat poop. I looked toward the bedroom where my sister and I used to sleep during our visits and saw a bunch of men's clothing being stored there. However, as I turned to face my grandmother's old room, the neglect was evident. It was covered in cobwebs and I was too afraid to go down there. I hear things in the walls. Oh God, I can't. I gotta get out. As I turned to walk toward the front door, the memories came flashing back. Grandma chopping the head off of a snake in the chicken coop, making banana pudding in the kitchen, watching Price is Right on our tiny TV, and the newborn cottontail rabbit that I found that Grandma nearly killed. Although it is undoubtedly a fixer-upper, my family settled here, and that's what matters to me. I sincerely hope that the owner of my grandmother's home will agree to sell it back to my family.